Alright guys, welcome to my channel. Now what we're gonna talk about is a little bit that really kinda makes sense when it comes to 9800 X3D. When this CPU came out, I noticed this right away in a lot of games using 5090. Nobody really talked about it, and I want to bring this up to you guys. Now, in this game there's definitely a CPU bottleneck, and I'm gonna show you that, guys, using a Z1Z video here, and we're just gonna let it play and I'll explain to you guys what I'm gonna do next. Listen up.
Oh, let's plug it over here. Ooh, it just fit. Ooh, look at that. It's actually super twisted right there. Damn. All right, 6969. Damn it, we gotta find the codes. No! Collectibles can be found in our backpack. Wait a second, what does that mean?
Yes.
Alright.
Now if you take a look at here, his GPU utilization is at 99%. Everything is working flawlessly. CPU is kicking ass here, 116 FPS. Average, I don't know how is that even right. I'm on 29 over, but 77 in the lows. Perfect, everything's running smooth until the part is coming soon.
Alrighty, here we go. I got the code and they're in. No! Oh my god! It seemed like Roach was gonna die there. Jesus Christ, that was really scary. Okay, we're fine though. We're fine, and GPU utilization is back down to.
Now look at that, 67% on GPU utilization, and those frames are coming down that fast. Look how CPU bottleneck this area is. Now let's keep going.
60 and 70% right there. That's I don't understand. Whenever things happen in this game, it just drops down GPU usage by crazy. All right, here we go. But anyway, aside from that, it's still a very smooth experience. Obviously, it's just not as well optimized over here in this area, especially on the CPU side of things. All
right, guys. Now this is the area that's dropping down to 52% GPU utilization, 80 FPS. His averages are still not right. I don't even know if these averages are counting properly in this overlay, because averages by now should be way less. So there's something really off about this.
Not sure if it's a CPU bottleneck or something else going on, but my guess
is
it's probably a slight CPU bottleneck over here, because this is a big city. There are much.
So alright, you can still see 62%, averages 127. Now this completely doesn't make sense. These averages should have been way less. 1% lows, way less. Look at that, 12.5. Yeah, okay. His overlay is not working. Not working. Now let's keep going. It's probably turned off. Let's keep going.
More buildings and everything else, maybe characters, NPCs running around, and the LOD is actually really good in this one, so that's probably why it's dropping our FPS, loading our CPU a little bit too much, and they didn't really code the game to properly use the CPU to 100% in these scenarios for some reason. Oh man, but I wish it was a higher refresh rate experience all the way through, dude. Because, again, like the 5090 can do it. It's 50% utilized at this moment. If it wasn't for whatever the heck bottleneck there is, we would be able to achieve 100 plus FPS.
Alright, so those averages are not really refreshing that fast. Probably, who knows, I don't know, 76 in lows doesn't make sense. Alright, still doesn't make sense, but GPU utilization 53%. It's like not even having 5090, CPU bottleneck 100%. And let's keep going a little bit longer, and then we'll load up the different system.
But I guess the game just needs a little bit.
And by the way, this is at 4K max DLAA
area for sure. Anyway, it's probably time for us to check it out using some upscaling. You know what? Let's try some DLSS quality here, which wasn't very good of an implementation with DLSS 3, but now I overrode it and it's running DLSS 4. Obviously, in terms of FPS, it's going to be exactly the same because we're still bound by something.
And now, of course, he's not showing us averages anymore or 1% lows, and that's for a reason, because they were not correct to begin with. Now, when you look at it, 5090 is 40%. utilization here. I mean, I'm actually even happy it's doing 80 FPS on here, but that's a CPU bottleneck for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a 4900 KF with 4090, and we're going to be in the same spot, and let's see what we can do. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we're back. Load up with 4900 KF and a 4090, and we're in the menu settings. We got everything at 4K, DLAA, so there's nothing to it. There's no upscaler, there's no off, 4K native. And down in graphics, everything is very high. The only thing I changed is texture filtering 16 times. All right, now I'm gonna go in there, reset my numbers like usual, because, you know, we wanna get everything correct. All right, so we're loaded up, and we're gonna go with the horsey. Now look at our, right here, when you look at his video, look at our 4090, 99%. CPU is not having any bottlenecks here. All right, let's jump over this little fence, and we're gonna stop. All right, now we jumped over the fence. We're still at that 100 FPS, 99% 4090.
That's gotta be it.
All right, we're getting out for horsey. We're looking at 107, 1% lows 91, and 0-1 83. Look at our graphs. Smooth as a butter, 99% GPU again. And this is exactly why your 9800 X3D is a bottleneck for 5090. And that's it. There's no other explanation. Now, what he said in the video, well, you know, blame the game, you know, blame the developers, blame the Naughty Dogs, or blame Nixon. That's not how it is. Every time AMD can't do something, we blame game developer. Oh, by the way, Call of Duty, the new one that came out, it started in, let's blame Call of Duty people. Let's not blame AMD dip or AMD bottleneck. Now, his CPU didn't dip, has nothing to do with AMD dip. It just has to do with the raw power of that CPU, which is bottlenecking, you know. So the 5090 is useless. You might as well use 4080 on a 9800 X3D, you'll get a better frames. Now, if you look at ours, now he wasn't even showing his 1% lows right, or his 0.1%, even though if he was still lower than this with 4090 at 4K native. Now, if you go over there, look at that graph. There's, ever since I loaded up and got in here, this graph has been smooth like a butter. There was not a single hiccup on it or anything like that. And we're just driving around, walking around. I mean, and there's nothing else to show here other than your 9800 X3D. If you're pairing it with 5090, you don't have a fastest CPU, you don't have a fastest GPU, because sometimes your GPU will act like 4070 or even a 4060. And then you will pay $3,000 to have a 4070 using 9800 X3D, guys. What you want to do, you always want to have that raw power in the CPU, and you can utilize that GPU as max as possible. In the case we have here, it's two different stories. You got one fastest gaming CPU that can handle it, and you got one 3-year-old CPU, well, 2-year-old CPU handles it. All right, guys, now that's going to be for this one. This is all scientific data. I'm going to be coming with more stuff, including more CPUs, more benchmarks, and hopefully some of you do subscribe, because that keeps the channel up. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.